to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee, right? I need a refill. Hun! Coffee. I need a refill. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? I need a refill.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I love you.
I love you too, but that's elder abuse.
Elder, yes, you're only a year older than me. So today we're going to be talking about consumer demand collapses, global economy, and factories closing their doors. Okay? And he got a dose of my husband. He's a goof. I swear. I think that's what makes us, that's the secret to how we have lasted 26 years. We make each other laugh every single day, So we are now watching the whiplash effect of all the mad money printing that took place during the lockdowns, right? Which provided the world's central banks an excuse to prop up their Ponzi markets, if you will, one last time. The flood of money and debt was stabbed into the economy like an adrenaline needle into the heart of a code blue, right? Something mimicking economy, like an activity, right? But the stimulus wave has, as we all supposed would happen, set into motion a series of inevitable after effects that might be worse than just letting the corpse expire in the first place. Okay, so now the world faces skyrocketing inflation, all right? Or if you could say currency devaluation, all right? Being reflected in the prices of food, up at least 40% in the grocery store, closer to 80% in restaurants. And, in case you haven't noticed, I mean, I have not been out to a restaurant to eat in a very long time. But that's my own choosing. I'd rather cook. Energy, up 800% to 1,000% across most of Europe. Clothing, housing, almost everything else you can think of, all right? It's just gone up. With consumers at the end of their financial ropes here, they are now drastically cutting back on purchases of discretionary items, such as new appliances, vacations, high-end cosmetics. I've discussed this many times. I have said to, I actually got into an argument almost with some woman who was complaining that she spent $625 on her hairstyle and she wasn't happy with it. Well, what the flip are you spending $625 on your hair for? You know how much food you could buy with that? You know how much preps you could buy with that? What's wrong with you? But I'll go on. This is causing alarm bells to sound off in the manufacturing industry, where companies have announced production cuts in both Europe and the United States. All right, as consumer demands are plummeting, forced shutdowns of factories are also occurring due to high energy prices and supply chain disruptions. Now, we have learned that Toyota has shut down the Sienna production. That's like their minivan, I guess you could say, for the next 2 years. It was promised a 2023 model from Dodge, Nissan, Honda, GMC, Ford, and Chevy. And they are severely lacking in availability right now. And, it's because of the problem that traces back to a lack of transportation. Rail transport, believe it or not, and parts that are unable to be sourced due to the supply chain collapse. So, all across Western Europe, steel plants and smelting operations that handle zinc and copper, aluminum, uh, manganese, I don't even know if I said that right, and other like industrial metals are collapsing by the day. So the situation is so dire that a trade group is issuing a urgent warning, claiming that if emergency EU action wasn't initiated, the entire continent would face a crisis of permanent industrialization. So this means the end of industry in Europe. Thank you, my darling. I love you. So Europe's worsening energy crisis is existential threat to our future. Okay? Yummus. So, EU leaders, all right, they must take emergency action to preserve their strategic electricity intensive industries and prevent permanent job losses. All right. Now, it goes on to state that 50% of aluminum and zinc production capacity is already offline, and copper and nickel are not far behind them, and producers face electricity and gas costs over 10 times higher than last year, which is far exceeding the sales price of their products. In essence, Europe's entire metal industry is demanding a government bailout. Yeah. Intervention means using public money to keep these zombie industries alive by allowing them to use energy that is simply not available. All right. And this energy crisis is so severe across Europe right now that if severe restrictions are not enforced, many countries will have to face a total wipeout of energy and electricity before the spring of 2023. So, paying metals smelting operators to keep running their high energy usage plants is not a viable option right now. Instead, European governments are likely to pay metals industry companies to idle their plants while paying their workers to produce nothing. Yeah. If this starts to sound a lot like communism, that's not a coincidence. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in coincidences. Well, I would believe in this one if I were you. I mean, all across Europe, nations must choose to either pay industry to produce nothing or allow those industries to permanently collapse into ruin from which there is no easy recovery. You can't simply restart large-scale industrial operations after bankruptcies have been declared. Equipment has been auctioned off, and employees have sought jobs elsewhere. So, allowing industrial metal factories to plunge into bankruptcy would spell the end of industry in Europe for at least the next decade. And without metals, obviously, you can't build much of anything without metal. And I mean, that includes automobiles, you know, and if you, like, even audio. Okay, what about, I mean, we're also talking, it's, you know, like, even German cars. Okay, Volkswagen, okay. This whole thing just sucks. But there's a sense of approaching doom. And I hate doom. I hate doom and gloom. But this is the truth. Okay? There's a sense of approaching doom in the United States as well, with government officials in Denver, Colorado. They're handing out bug out bags to residents. Denver, it turns out, has its own readiness program called Denver Ready. If anyone here lives in Colorado, raise your hand. Have you received one of these bug out bags? What's in it? Asking. I'm just wondering, you know. This readiness program naturally doesn't really get people ready, from what I understand, to do anything. Given that these bug out bags appear to contain really nothing useful for actually surviving what's coming. This is what I've heard, but that's why I asked, whoever lives in Colorado, if you received one of these bug out bags, what's actually in it. From what I'm hearing, it has toilet paper, bottled water, flashlights, similar items like that, okay? But what they're lacking is freedom sticks, boomsticks, freedom seeds, iodine, night vision equipment, survival knife, ballistic armor, I'm kidding, but I'm saying this, anyone hoping to escape a zombie apocalypse, I'm joking, no, I'm not, that will strike most U.S. cities. I mean, you use the term zombie apocalypse to mean desperate, unprepared, starving masses, okay? Not actually zombies, even though that is covered under my homeowner's insurance. But I'll go on. So, I don't know. It's just, this Denver Ready also, they feature a financial preparedness training class too, which I'm sure it teaches you how to lose your money. I don't know. I'm kidding, but there probably isn't a single mention of gold or silver during these entire classes. Yeah. I mean, Denver mostly is run by Democrat bureaucrats who despise actual preparedness anyway. But it won't be like the worst city in America. So Denver is survivable by those who are proficient in firearms and navigation and water filtration. People have the prepared mind, okay? Among other key skills. That most definitely are not taught by the city of Denver itself. But many other liberal cities won't fare nearly as well as Denver. Now, LA, I don't even want to touch LA. I have family that lives in LA. Well, they live in West Hollywood, but they don't even offer free bug out bags to anyone. I mean, if they even offered a ready class, I don't know. I know a lot of people here live in LA. Do they offer anything? Anything? No, I didn't think so. But the best way to survive LA, even though I heard it's beautiful and there's a lot of amenities and things like that, I would move out if I were you. I know my family's trying to move out. They want to move back here. Yeah. But more so over to where my sister is in Fort Lauderdale. But I would not be anywhere near a collapsing liberal city right now. Like LA, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Miami, Houston, Chicago, New York City. And yeah, I put Miami in there because, oy marana me. I mean, if you're stuck in one of these cities, rest assured you probably don't have nearly enough ammo stored away for what's coming. You know. But if you're of the prepared mind, you should be okay. You should be. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless. Ciao.